Holy cow, what a few days it's been, folks. So we have some insane signals happening on the macroeconomic side. Also culturally, obviously, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Absolutely devastated. Me and my wife spent a long time talking about what happened last night, and we're going to talk about it, work through it as a family here in the blockchain basement. Really something that's been irking me for quite some time. And now it's the conversation that Charlie Kirk was able to kick up in America. Now that conversation's come to a close. So we need to talk about what that really means here. Welcome to the show, everybody. Slothman, Mike Vollmer, what up, man? Shelby, Kryptoni, Papa Goose, and Mr. Mark, all the peeps up in here, Wispy. And Wispy, thank you very much for your words of really wisdom. I feel like it was words of wisdom this morning, man. Really like talking to you guys in the Blockchain Basement Discord. And obviously, you got to get in both the Blockchain Basement Discord and the Discover Crypto Discord. We got some banger trades in this morning. Up big on the trades. They are protected because I got to go into some pretty complex macroeconomic structures that are all on the table right now, signaling what's to come in 2026. And it's about to get freaking crazy. So if you can, stop what you're doing, share the stream out on whatever social platforms you use, and help me get the engines fired back up here on the Blockchain Basement live stream. Let's get after it. Now, make sure you're following me at Druth Crypto on Twitter. Now, also the Blockchain Basement channel here, as you know, where we're live right now. If you're not already supporting Discover Crypto, though, make sure to do so. Blockchain Basement. We're going to be cooking with all cylinders here in a moment. We're getting settled into the new studio, all the different studios, finally set up, and finally getting that stride. Finally getting in that stride, kind of a new location, all those different things. What is up, Nick Dunn? Thank you very much. Now, let's look. Oh, yeah, look at that. We finally got I was hooked in, hardwired into the internet for the last few, maybe like a week. Finally got the ticker up and running behind me there. And Jeffrey. Good old Jeffrey hanging out, getting ready to play the guitar for me. So now let's check out how the markets are looking. Kind of a mixed bag. Bitcoin at 114.5, bouncing very, very strongly off of some inflation data that came out this morning. The data that came out this morning actually gives further confluence to one of the more insane predictions that I had about 2 years ago. That's actually starting to truly come true and come to the table. People are having to acknowledge it. So it's coming. We're going to talk about what it means, but really Mantle doing some nice numbers, Chainlink slightly down. And I did get a chance to get into an Athena long. I actually am wondering how the Athena long is doing right now. Let's check it out because we got in, and obviously I'm hosting the show, so I'm keeping the stop loss nice and safe. We got this smaller trade going on right now. I just got into it right before the show. We'll see if this one plays out. Safe trade already. And huge shout out to John, the master trader within the Discover Investments Group Discord. And also, man, we got some pretty cool stuff coming. We're finalizing details about it. But I'm super excited, you guys. We are going to have some new traders coming into the mix and adding their value to it. And really, we're going to have this thing. It's like a breakout props, and it's, a way to learn how to trade with parameters so that you have to abide by those parameters. You could really up your game in terms of the amount of punch you can deliver for a good trade, but it makes you take responsible trades and stay within the bounds of a learning process, which I think is very, very important. And if you're not already learning about trading, I would say trading and understanding general markets are going to be pretty damn important over the next few years here. I think what we have being built up in the US, what's being built out across the world is a great, great change, a great transition into the new world, the brave new world. Quarter crawler. Good morning, nerds. New traders exit liquidity. New traders can absolutely, and most often do end up exit liquidity if they're not being safe. That's why I'm so excited about this partnership going up So just stay tuned for that, because I know I get a lot of questions about people, what should I do? How do I get involved with trading? And you know what, man? You just have to get in there, use the right kind of parameters so that you don't over leverage yourself and blow your whole portfolio up, and really start to grow it from there. Entered Sol Long last night. Let's see how the chat's doing here. So we got a Sol Long last night. What is up, Barf DOW? Papa Good, DCA. All right, we got DCA and Pray. Powell said that he's not going to cut rates until inflation is down to 2%. DCA and Pray actually mentioned, Jerome Powell mentioned they're kind of getting looser on their 2% inflation target on his last meeting. So he already kind of laid the carpet out, the red carpet for maybe 2.9, 3% is all right. He laid the groundwork to be able to cut into this month's FOMC already last month. So actually, it's pretty much priced in. I am about 99% sure that there are going to be 25 base point cuts at the minimum this month. Okay. But what this means in the long term, we really got to look at what it means in 2026. We're having fun. Honestly, anyone that's asking me where Altseason is, I'm asking, where the hell have you been? A lot of these different projects in the top 10 are hitting new all-time highs. Bitcoin hit all-time highs 124 very recently, finding support above 100K, trying to make another swing at it. Ethereum hit that new all-time high. Right now, it's trying to gather steam right around $4,500 to make another chunk at it. XRP, basically the same chart structure, hit all-time highs. Now it's coiling up, trying to keep that support at $3. BNB all-time highs. Solana just a bee's dick away from those all-time highs as well. Dogecoin very far from all-time highs, but obviously there's the inflation problem there. Really, man, I don't know where the hell Cardano's the laggard. Cardano is without a doubt the biggest laggard in the top 10. Okay, so maybe we need to be watching out for that chaotic Cardano's turn pump. But I mean, really, this is alt season. We have the alt season index just barely ticking into altcoin season. That's great. Really, I do think that we have some time to be able to cook in alts, but we got to be watching out for risk off events. Risk off events are going to matter. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't know this, but apparently Charlie was into crypto. Let's have a listen to this. And rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And here's the deal. All right, we're going to watch this, and then I'll give my.
Are you pro crypto? I've never seen you talk about crypto. Yeah,
very pro crypto.
You got some Bitcoin?
I actually have better stuff than that. I am a significant investor in the plumbing of how crypto is made.
Really?
So I won't say.
He's invested in the plumbing of how crypto is made. I wonder. It seems to me like he actually might be holding or had held altcoins. And hopefully this is being able to passed on to his family. I wonder, is the video, because my video on my side is absolutely awesome. I wonder how this is looking. Oh my lord, what is going on with that? Oh my lord. Okay, well, let's just we'll go like this. I can do a smaller screen, there we go. Now let's move on to this. So I put this post out. Today marks the return of the trad dad, the nuclear family, the reminder that this country was not founded on asking permission or trying to get your adversary to calm down on a diplomatic stance. With words, political leaders are being targeted for assassination. This is asymmetric war. Praying for Kirk and the family, I bow my hat to a man that took the public stage time and time again against his adversaries to try to converse towards solutions. Charlie's life being taken on that very same stage might just mark the end of useful conversation between the two political factions here in the United States. And instead of, making talentless hacks constantly famous, we see this just over and over again. The talentless hacks are made famous through idiocy. I think Charlie Kirk is way out of their league. And I think that we need to really make his death not in vain. America has been really fallen ill to the, idiocy, the idiocracy, should I speak. And this is really a time to expand upon his legacy, and really make it known that the trad dad is coming back. Traditional family values matter, and lead by example. He was very brave. He went in there, and every single week it seemed like he was at a sold out campus meet or, massive events with Turning Point USA. And he really went into the belly of the beast time and time again. Elon Musk got pretty mad about it. Had these words to say: if they won't leave us in peace, then our own choice is fight or die. So Elon Musk, pretty damn pissed about the situation here. Pretty damn pissed. And I do wonder if there's anything I could do on my side to wonder if I can change streaming parameters, because I do see my face is a little fuzzy. I probably look really weird right now. Is what it is. We're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. It is what it is, folks, because I got some important information. Is that better? Okay, maybe it's better. Oh, snap, it fixed itself. All right. U.S. inflation rose to 2.9% this morning. Okay, and with that news, it got a little bit feisty on the charts, right? This is the 5-minute chart. Bitcoin had a snap flash crash down about nearly 1%, but it has since recovered and now chunking back to the upside. And the return of Bitcoin price action in the midst of that snap crash made me start snooping around for some good longs. I think both the positions are still open right now, so we're going to keep an eye on this. I actually might leave it up to you guys here, because we are actually doing pretty good right now. We're up 25% on the Morpho long and then 9% on the Athena long. And again, join the Discord if you want those concise, timely notifications when I'm getting into those. Link in the description, of course. Now, Bitcoin, it's feeling like it's choosing to be uppity today, and not the kind of uppity that gets the cops called on it. It's seeming like Bitcoin has now, where we're at right now is expected turbulence, the midpoint of the W pattern that got us to that all-time high originally. So this is a turbulence zone. I am acknowledging this. My longs are in danger. I'm finding out if we can make it through with high leverage, but where we are right now is the midpoint of that W pattern that I traded off of previously. Now, I'm expecting at least just some short-term turbulence in this zone. And, maybe I'm crazy for longing into all-time highs, into alt season. But you know what? I'm just going with the trend, rolling with the trend. It's working for me right now. And also, if you're watching this on Pump Fun, give this a share as well. Let's get back on the leaderboard. Yesterday was pretty awesome. Projection at $115,200 might be a good spot to short. Let's check that level out. Mr. David Middleton. Let's check her out now. Bam. All right, here we go. So 115.2 coming right up in that zone as well. Yeah, I mean, that's smack dab. I mean, that's still within this center point of the W pattern. And really, we do have to actually look at the larger money flow here. And we're doing the TA on Bitcoin just because I know peeps are out there trading. We're looking, is it a good time to get in? Is it a time to get out? We still have not printed the green dot on the weekly. The VWAP is still showing that angled upside in return of juice, so it actually still looks pretty darn good to me outside of major macro scares. I think all systems are a go. We are still set up for that federal interest rate cut. Let's see here. Ricky Romero, can you look at Centrifuge Coin? Sure, I'll look at Centrifuge Coin. I know I'd looked at it a little bit in the past, but I will check out Centrifuge Coin today. And yeah, my daughter brought up, I talked to her last night about it. Today is 9/11, right? It's a day clearly lives in infamy. Started one of the longest wars, if not the longest war in American history. Lots has changed since 2001 on that day. I remember where I was. I think I was like 5th or 6th grade or something like that. And It was crazy. It was crazy. And I love this boosted. Please let us not make a left versus right thing. That's how we keep driving ourselves to the ultra rich. Love watching us fight together. 100%. Really, what I did, my actionable item today was, just remind myself to be the kind of dad that the people that don't like me are scared to fuck with. And, it's, yes, I'm tall, but honestly, becoming a beast takes away the pain of being a man, right? He who turns himself into a beast gets rid of the pain of becoming a man. So that's kind of the approach. I'm trying to stay level headed and try to remember that, there is a core value that has been taken out of the larger American population, which is the nuclear family unit. And I am going to be hammering that point as an important part of structural societies moving forward. I mean, I know I've done it before, but I'm going to be even heavier about it. Dave was in 8th grade. Man, yeah, where were you guys when 9/11 happened? I want to know. That was a crazy day. Obviously, a massive change to the trajectory of the United States here. Now, Caleb Franzen talking about the IBIT staying above the AV WAP for the lows, and it continues to hold its breakout, retest, and rebound setup. There's absolutely no reason in Caleb's mind to think that Bitcoin has peaked right now. He's hinting that it really is that easy, and maybe so, but even in this current time frame, I'm being cautious. You know what I mean? I'm taking profits. I'm actively trading, and just understanding that what goes up must come down, right? What goes up must come down. And for Bitcoin, there will be washouts, there will be pullbacks, but it looks like things are looking pretty up into the right now. BlackRock just won't stop with the shilling of their Bitcoin ETFs. And we have even more, but I want to talk about something pretty important in my mind. And it is, what does the great inflation mean for Bitcoin? Now, many people that were around the 70s to 80s, probably this rings a bell. The great inflation, right? So I want to talk about what is the great inflation, and then what does it mean for our bags? What does it mean for Bitcoin, right? That's what I want to talk about here. So let's get into this. And I do want to kind of start it off with this article. Top economist Torsten Slok warns of an inflation mountain in a potential repeat of the 1970s. Now, I feel extreme confluence. This is a prediction that I had about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Many people thought I was insane. Drew, no, I can't get that bad. We're in a new design, right? Nothing is the same. Nothing's the same. Everything's different, right? Well, here is core CPI in the green line. And then 1974 to 1982, these are the interest rates. So what we have is the first inflation mountain kicking off right here. And obviously the gold standard, we pull off the gold standard, we're able to cook the books. Then, you know what? They decide, okay, so we have the inflation expand, they raise the interest rates, it retracts, the inflation retracts, starts to come down, and they start cutting interest rates. And they actually cut interest rates into the secondary inflation mountain. I want to read into kind of Torsten's thought on this. So Torsten Slok been turning heads on Wall Street with his charts for years since he was at Deutsche Bank and continuing into his current role at Apollo Global Management. Market analysis earned him the profile in Bloomberg, and he was one of the first prominent voices to warn of a potential AI bubble in stocks. Now, that has not happened yet, but AI stocks, there will be some big winners and there will be some big losers, just like the dot-com bubble. Now he sees an uncanny resemblance, almost an uncanny valley between the inflation mountain range of the 1970s and 80s to the inflation wave of 2021, right? 2021, the lockdowns, the flu season caused this first inflationary mountain. And it's incredible, the normalcy bias that even intelligent people display to me when I bring up this comparison. That, oh no, it was all just COVID. This is completely different, right? So he what may lie ahead is the U.S. economy he noted an upside pressure on inflation and inflation expectations from tariffs. Now, the tariffs probably playing into a little bit of increase, but they are bringing in good revenue, which is a good thing. But dollar depreciation and a growing disagreement within the federal open market committees about how to balance the rising inflation with slowing employment. This is stag-fucking-flation right there. In a note titled Ghost of 2007 Bank of America, research observed that the Fed has rarely cut rates against the backdrop of rising inflation. This is not normal to cut interest rates as inflation is returning. The risks are rising, he added, and we could see another inflationary mountain emerging in the coming months. Now, as we saw, and actually something kind of exciting for just my current time frame as I'm about to move in a new house, is the 30-year fixed mortgage rates just recorded their biggest drop in a year. So we see, okay, mortgage rates are pulling back, right? Everything must be getting better. We are in a season of calm. This is a short-lived season of calm, in my humble opinion. They will cut interest rates for a few months, leading into the end of the year. And you know what? This is probably going to end up playing the same way again. Now, I'm taking advantage of the momentary drop in fixed mortgage interest rates, but I am not expecting that this graph will return and just move counter to historical metrics when we're seeing the same signals on a macroeconomic scale. But what does it mean for Bitcoin, right? That's what it means. We want to find out because look at people are suffering. Credit card delinquent balances continue to tick higher. Unpaid credit card balances for at least 3 months rose to the highest level in 14 years. The middle class is broke. Lower and middle class are broke. They are completely reliant, I mean, not completely, but a large contingent of lower and middle class people, they don't have more than $1,000 in emergency funds, and they're using credit cards to keep paying bills. It's not a good sign. It's not something that can continue going on. And while that's happening, apartment asking rents rose over 2.6% over the last year, largest increase since December 2022. Oh, the housing crash. I'm looking around for that housing crash. Ain't quite seen it. I've been waiting for that major market crash. Really not there. What up, Brian Richards? So they have not started more than just the chat room. I wonder, am I live? Am I live? Brian Richards making me wonder, is this signal coming out to you here? I mean, we have 2,000 people watching across the stages right now. I got people asking if this is even live. Let me know in the chat. One, if we're live and we're coming live to you here, or is it just everyone arguing in a blank screen chat room? Now the market for jobs has turned to hell. Job market is hell. Young people are using ChatGPT to write their applications. Gotcha. HR is using AI to read them, and no one is getting hired. Interesting confluence of things. And, this is AI is going to be arbitrage. Like the administrative class, they're going to take advantage of the AI, and then 5 years down the road, oh, you're not needed anymore. Honestly, it's probably coming sooner than that. I'm saying 5 years in a generous manner. Pivoting and finding ways to earn income, to earn dollars, to earn stable coins is extremely important right now with what's coming for the job market and AI. Because you know what? While Ellison and everyone else in the AI industry is turning themselves into billionaires, the middle and lower class are being left out to die. So we need to take extreme measures, extreme focus in this market to make that money. Let's see what this, I used to be in HR. So the concept of AI automatically aggregating, resumes, response times, all that stuff, it's very, very applicable. And man, it's going to get crazy. Sloth man. Yes. All right. So let me see here. Mobile meat smoker. What? Hold on. You got a mobile meat smoker. Where you at? VZ Fat Cat? Jesus. You got a meat smoker going on? I'm going to go through your guys' comments real quick. Let's see here. The AI throws out applications that don't match completely with what they want. And now Wispy is saying something that's actually pretty close to the mark there. AI is just a keyword search. It's not a personality search. It doesn't dig into, can you keep learning? It just sees what your keywords are, and now you can know that and potentially apply that into your applications if you're out there looking for a job. But AI, it's just, if it doesn't see the keyword on, you don't even show up on the radar here. So now we've just covered the job market looks like shit. Inflation is coming back. Mortgage rates are going down. And yet we're told that the economy is strong and resilient, right? Right? We're told that. Now, this is what happens when this process plays out to risk assets. Now, the data point that we most currently have is in what happened to gold, right? So this is an overlay of gold and Bitcoin, okay? Gold in the 1970s, leading in to the 1980s, absolutely skyrocketed. Many of you know the fondness of analogs. Bitcoin reminds me of gold when I first got into the business, 1976. Same season I'm talking about right now. Gold had just been produced size. I don't know what the hell that means. As a futures instrument. Okay, so this is when they released the gold futures, like Bitcoin, but this is wrong. They released the gold spot ETF in 2004. So wrong. And had enjoyed a heck of a bull market. But the most important thing about this is that gold went absolutely ballistic when the nasty great inflation took hold of the markets. Gold absolutely went parabolic. Okay. It's a hedge. It's a hedge against irresponsible government printing and macroeconomic movements, just the same as Bitcoin, right? So now I like this word from Ray Dalio. He's saying to hold 10 to 15% of your portfolio in gold. And actually, you know what? I'm kind of thinking about adding a little bit of gold. If I see a good pullback on gold, that is, like say $3,000. Bridgewater founder Ray Dalio advised investors to keep 10 to 15% of their portfolios in gold, calling it protection against debt-laden markets. He warned rising U.S. debt costs squeezing out other spending, comparing the risk to a clogged artery headed for a heart attack. And side note, clogged arteries are going parabolic in the U.S. I wonder why. Maybe it was the jab. Okay, so now, speaking at Abu Dhabi Finance Week, Dalio noted gold's lack of correlation with other assets and its tendency to rise during crises. Okay, so you know what, Ray? I agree with him on the fourth turning. I like gold. I like tangibles. I'm going to wait for a 3K pullback if I get it, right? I'm not going to top blast gold at all-time highs. No. But you know what? Maybe rolling some of the alt profits into gold down the line might make a little bit of sense. That's the thing. And the great turning, we have all of the ingredients for a massive change to life as we know it. And this was from Illuminati bot who scarily follows me. I don't know why Illuminati bot follows me. Shout out to you though. Someone said it, but which chain? So Gen Z nihilism, right? Nothing matters, just whatever's whatever. Political radicalization, plus a declining currency value are all signs of the end state of civilization. Shit about to get effing crazy. Now it's a matter of, does America fall, or do we act so aggressive that we retain world dominance over the course of the next few years? Right. Oh, my Athena long got stopped out in profit. I'm not too mad about that. Athena long got stopped out in profit just now. Oh well. So I want to know from you, are we going to war with China? Flat out, do you think that a war with China is on the horizon, or will we just see more political posturing and flyovers of NATO countries causing scares of headlines, but no actual war coming to fruition? I heard Trump this morning, America's the best, maybe the biggest. We've won World War I. We won World War II. We're the best. This is going to be a great century for America. He almost like had that that little slip. We're gonna win World War III. He almost said it this morning. I want to know from you guys what you guys think, because World War III with China is a very large conversation. It's a very ugly conversation. And you really, there's no way to like fully prepare for a war with China, right? But we can do our best. We can do our best here. JP Morgan. Let's see here. JP Morgan says institutional adoption for crypto is still in its early phases. Okay. So JP Morgan, kind of crazy that Jamie Dimon's organization is now bull posting Bitcoin. Honestly, saying that Bitcoin is at its early stage while we're literally sitting here straddling all-time highs. Okay. We are all up in them guts of all-time highs right now. And then JP Morgan's out there saying, go ahead and top blast. Why not? Well, you know what, JP? I'm top blasting with 40x leverage. Find out, because this one Bitcoin may be worth, hold on, folks, $1 billion. Do you think Bitcoin's going to $1 billion? I want to know what you think. But then they're saying $1 billion by 2038. That is a whole chunk of change right there. $1 billion sounds a little bit too much to me within the next 15 years. You know, $1 billion Bitcoin in 2038. Then what? My bread is going to cost, you know, $1,000 for a loaf of bread or something like that. This is the same kind of talk that like XR people have. Was it XRP's going to $10,000? You know, I mean, it's just, you're talking about mega hyperinflation. You won't even be able to, you know, you won't be able to feed yourself in that kind of situation. So I want to know from you guys, is this absolute insane? And you know what? This is kind of crazy. Fidelity saying this. We have JP Morgan saying that we're early to Bitcoin, which is here at like extremely high levels. Like we are in a verified bull market. We are in, you know, all-time high zones right now. They're saying to top blast here. It's kind of giving me the EBGBs, right? Give me the EBGBs. Is this the top? And now with all this going on, the 10-year note on the yield officially dropped below 4% for the first time since April 4th, which played into that mortgage pullback that we saw this morning. And I am so excited for that mortgage pullback. Holy shit. You know, there's a house actually very close. The house very close. And it's got the whole basement just to myself. Massive bedroom. And you know what? I'll be able to hear the kids. I'll just watch them with cameras. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Druth, when we going shooting? Manawak, we should go shooting real soon, my man. Manawak, we need to go shooting real soon. Shout out to you, Manawak, one of the OGs here in the basement. Now, let's get on to the other juice here. In other Treasury news, Treasuries had to buy back $2 billion of its own stash, smoking its own stash, $2 billion of its own debt that the Treasury just bought up here. It brings the total buybacks to over $10 billion in the past 4 weeks. This is an absolutely unprecedented amount of Treasury bond buybacks. This is the Treasury trying to stop the bleed. Now, on the note of everything that's been going on culturally, I will emphasize this, okay? So I don't sell medical kits, okay? I don't sell any kind of hard-sided goods. I mean, I really should. I've tried, but you know, the only options I had were China. But if you don't have a first aid kit around you at pretty much all times, you know, an extra tourniquet, please take it upon yourself to get a first aid kit. And this isn't just for like, oh my God, you know, the World War III is happening tomorrow. Though defense organizations are buying up these at all-time high levels. They're preparing the NATO lines next to Russia. That's what they're doing. They're buying these. They're preparing for World War III on a NATO scale. We're having the largest military buildup and preparation in human history right now. If you don't have a IFAC in your car, in your office, at your house, in your bug out bag, all over the place, you're doing yourself a disservice, because guess what? Lots of people get in car crashes. You could be the one that potentially saves someone's life if you have one of those on you. Just a side note. I'm sorry I went on a sidebar. Not really sorry at all. Now let's go back to crypto, okay? Defense matters. Security matters. Now, SEC Chair Paul Atkins saying that Crypto's time has come. Let's have a listen to Mr. Paul Atkins. This is a guy that led part of the board of Securitize and built with Ondo. Let's see what he's got to say.
Resisted, but not an idea whose time has come. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that crypto's time has come. For too long, the SEC has weaponized its investigatory subpoena and enforcement authorities to subvert the crypto.
He seems pretty sure of himself. 2 weeks ago, Paul Atkins comes out and says that we're going to tokenize the entire U.S. economy. Now he's saying crypto's time has come. Is it really finally go time, right? Is it finally go time where we see crypto adopted by the masses? I don't know. The traders out there, they're fearful. Paul, traders are turning bearish. Growing FUD signals and the feared Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoin retrace that might never come, right? People are checking out. They're looking at the charts like, you know what? This has got to pull back. Oh, no, there's no way it could take off. Meanwhile, what I just showed you on how gold reacted to stagflationary environments, in my opinion, that is coming to Bitcoin. In my opinion, I think that Bitcoin is going to perform very, very similarly to gold in what gold did in the 1970s to 80s. Maybe on a larger scale, even because it's a smaller market cap. And also, I started a business. Truth Social. So I'll be getting that going. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm kind of excited about a little play on words. You know what I mean? So now we've seen some pumpus. All right, I went through the all-time highs that we're sitting here watching being blasted on really the top 10 outside of hell. You doing Cardano? What are you doing, Cardano? Cardano and what was the other one? Dogecoin. These are the two laggards in here. We're seeing some interesting stuff. Okay, we're seeing some interesting stuff, and I'm really, seeing the amount of fear and uncertainty that's out there. It's understandable because people they're like deer in headlights right now. I mean, there's so many cultural issues going on. There's so many distractions. Like, oh no, it's got to pull back. This is what is actually seeming to happen. So ETH outperforms Solana, is up by 31%, Solana up 15%, but the cycle isn't over. Solana's turn usually comes right after Ethereum's, and it does look like that is the case. And even one of the best out there, Coinbase Duck, the quack from the other side of the world, saying this, based on price action and strength recently, Solana can outperform Ethereum easily by 35% once more aggressive bids are placed on Solana treasury companies, fueling further by their recent DeFi acceleration. We are seeing a lot of these Sol treasury moves coming, a lot of the Sol staking coming, and Pump Fund is absolutely printing right now. So Solana is experiencing a great expanse from the new revenue models that have come to Pump Fund. Shout out to everyone that's watching on Pump Fund, you scallywags. You better share this stream and get it up to the front line there on Pump Fund. Unbelievable. Ooh, I got to share. Hold on. I got to share it on my X. Jeet on. Let's get it. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. I'm going to share this out. Bam. Show some love to the people that support the show on Solana's social fi. Now, this makes a lot of sense to me. And I do actually want to hop into the charts of Solana, particularly because the revenue that Solana's Pump Fund is producing is very, very aggressive right now. And so, when I saw this last kind of mid-cycle moment for Solana, it pumped up. The Pump Fund release drove a lot of this action. Then you started to have the taking the profits, selling Solana for USDC in this zone. But then Trump came up and top blasted, released his token. We hit an all-time high, $294, right? This scenario, the reintroduction and kind of new tooling that Pump Fund is doing, especially with the Pump Fund token, likely going to drive it much, much higher. Now, what would a move like this look? So we're seeing, the comparison of Ethereum to Solana from these lows. A 30% pump would be, honestly pretty damn easy. We've already pumped by 67%. Solana I feel like has the juice to essentially land right at or just under $400 without much of a problem. I do think $400 is going to be an important level to watch out for in case we want to jeet all of our Solana into Bitcoin at that zone. But generally, looking at this, I mean, this might be hoodoo juju, but a trend line that I can see pretty clearly here at the top, it's an ascending trend line. It looks like Solana wants to take another stab at it, and you have a clearly defined recent floor from this zone right here at about $100, like $90. So you're getting a nice bounce off the trampoline, and now we're heading into the FOMO part. And yes, it's on a really good upside in terms of altcoins, right? And yes, there are many within the top 10 that are at all-time highs, but that money takes time to go down the list of market caps. People are going to speculate, right? Everyone's like, oh, everyone's broke. Yeah, I mean, the middle class and the lower class are broke as hell. But with the invention of all this new economic system online is creating more millionaires than ever, right? Millionaires, they speculate, they hedge, they find investments, they risky biscuits, right? So when I look at the market cap line, we've seen Bitcoin first, then ETH. Really, I think that this flow is actually just going to continue to flow downhill, and even shit coins, things that do nothing, that mean nothing, will pump in this environment. It's just a matter of you see the pump, you jeet the pump, you get out, you get more Bitcoin. That's what I do, right? I'm not telling you what to do because I'm not a financial advisor, but that is what I do, and it feels good. I wake up every morning. Last week was good. Got even more Bitcoin. Let's see here. Sack Nasty. What are you doing? Oh my God. What are you doing? Jesus. What is going on here? You guys got some scheme to make $40,000 a show. You got a mobile meat smoker on a custom made trailer. God. Now, Isaac's not to the military yet. He's moving all of our crap from one spot to the next. You're gonna accept crypto payments? Is that you're gonna run a you know what? My favorite barbecue place in Georgia is a mobile barbecue smoke, place. So I think you're onto something right there. It's all about the brisket. If you can nail the brisket, you can nail it all, right? You can nail it all if you get that brisket down, man. Let me have some. So you're preparing them for the military. Yeah, I mean, basically, go do logistics, go sweat, move logistics. It's going to be great. That's what we're doing is brisket. There you go, VZ Fat Cat, my man. Oh, there you go. You know what? You're getting me going about brisket. Okay, you're getting me going about brisket. Oh. And if a barbecue place does the brisket wrong, never again. I never go there again. It's just over if they mess the brisket up. This is kind of interesting. I want to check into this and kind of track this with Chainlink. DTCC private chain added to the CCIP for Chainlink. This is a multi-quadrillion dollar per year transaction organization, DTCC. This is one of the biggest market movement areas in the entire world. DTCC is, I think, 6 private blockchains now connected through CCIP, and now it looks like there's some DTCC testnets being added into it. Makes you wonder. We've seen the Federal Reserve of New York in that GitHub as well. We've seen some very sneaky, large organizations dipping their toe into that Chainlink water. Oh, what is this? My girlfriend's boss has no idea we bought it. Oh my God, bro. You better surprise him. You like roast beef personality on blondes. You know what?
You are banned.
Jesus, flaming retro car. Hold on. Unbelievable. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. You are banned. Okay. I love the sound effects too. This is great. Now, this is the pump fun stuff I was talking about for Solana, the catalyst, the underlying catalyst for that Solana juice, which honestly is just getting started. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. So Solana pump fun, it's been 7 days, and we covered this yesterday, but $15.5 million in creator fees. Like creators on Pump Fun literally don't even have to sell the token or do the inside bullshit that we've seen meme coin founders do time and time again, dumping on their holders. They can literally earn pretty decent money literally in just transactions, right? Just transactions make money on Pump Fun. And they have returned a lot of that revenue to the creators, which I really, really like. And I think that that expansion and kind of leaning into it is going to help this kind of prediction from Coinbase Duck come true, where he's talking about an outperformance of Solana versus ETH incoming. Okay. Now we got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. I got so much stuff to cover. Traders still see Pendle as a complex DeFi protocol, saying things like too complicated to understand, but they're building the AWS, the Amazon Web Services of yield. Morpho holds 60% of their products as collateral, and that says a shitload to me. TradFi permissioned instances launching next quarter, so they have some upgrades coming to it. But the fact that Morpho is willing to bolster 60% of their products as collateral, that says a lot to me. That says a lot to me. The base ecosystem, pretty concise with what it's building into, you know, the kind of infrastructure of the everything app that, in my opinion, Coinbase is building towards right now. And they are watching things very, very closely to make sure that they are sound financial products. Now, another thing that I found interesting here is I don't know who this guy is, Cody Carbone of DC. I thought it was Gary Carbone, but it's clearly not Gary. He's not a Scientologist. My first DEX trade this morning. Okay, so he's a DEX Virgin. DEX Virgin coming in this morning, traded directly on Coinbase inside the decentralized exchange, powered by Aerodrome, by mind you. Of course, he bought DAG as the first purchase, tagged Constellation. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? He picked up some DAG, and I can't believe I don't follow the founder of DAG. What the hell's wrong with me? And this guy, hopefully I follow him. Yeah. I met him in Nashville. Very, very cool dude. And of course, here he is, Dagnum. Dagnum has given us a list of the highest volume base AI agents over the past few days here. And there's a lot of kind of new ones here that I'm just wanting to sprinkle on our radar, give a visual. I mean, these are very, very small market caps. So we have Banker, BANKR, right there. Rect, Warp, AI, XBT, which it's nice to see it highlighted there. Trust, Predibot, not a great name. Okay, not a great name. Clanker, the Up. This is funny. The Upsider AI. Hannah Persona. Hannah, is this you? Is this Hannah? I'm gonna have to ask her if she's behind it. And then Billy. Ask Billy Betts. Let's see what they're talking about. It's incredible how Upside AI punching way above its height. One of the lowest market caps at 881,000 and a follower count just at 1.7 thousand followers. It's in the top agent list, and this is kind of the top volume as well. It's snagging 0.7% of the mind share and ranking number 8th. Quality AI, smart community, real attention. It's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting for me to see a small project that like that kicking up so much dust, right? And that's kind of how you find the early gems. You see where the dust is being kicked up, put your scope down it, get a visual on that bad boy. Now, there's a chart on Wall Street that has had my attention. I feel like this company is probably going to be a version of the next CBDC, or what we fear will be the CBDC, and it's Circle. Ollie chart saying that Circle could surge to $130 after the TD sequential flashed a buy signal. So he's got his own kind of buy signals cooked in. God, Solana is just looking crazy right now. Absolutely looking crazy right now. Let's go to Circle and let's see how the chart looks. Now there's a big pullback. He's targeting, 130 ain't really shit, honestly. 130 ain't really shit. It fell all the way down to just about $100 flat. Had a decent pump on the week so far. So it is trying to essentially put its flag in the sand. This is the line in the sand. And it's interesting that it's right at the body of this originating release candle. This is something to know. God, VZ Fat Cat, I hope you come to Georgia and hope you have some barbecue someday. Maybe when we have we're all sold all of our altcoins into Bitcoin and we never have to work ever again. Let's see here. Blockchain backer showed a Solana fractal. It's comparing Solana to Litecoin. I think Litecoin is just a chaotic beast that comes out of nowhere. It pumps to the absolute moon at like the peaks of all cycles, and then it just right back there. But it creates higher lows along the way. You know what I mean? And this is interesting as well. So Nvidia obviously holding up most of the Wall Street sector, but Oracle with that massive move. AI circle of money explained here. So Nvidia selling GPUs to Oracle, and Oracle uses these to power its data centers. Oracle builds the cloud on these GPUs. Then Nvidia rents the compute back via signed deals from Oracle. It's kind of like a Wall Street centipede. Nvidia gets recurring revenue from hardware sales and cloud services without owning any of the data centers. Oracle turns CapEx buying GPUs and OpEx revenue by renting the compute back to Nvidia, OpenAI, and others. This is a great explanation. This is basically the setup that this system is at. Kryptoni's bringing up something that actually I put a side note on my brain. I was like, I need to look at Caspa. I'm gonna go look at Caspa. I don't even know what the price is, but it's a proof of work coin that is really, it's done well for us, mining it. But I do want to actually look at where the price, because the last time I looked at it, it was about 8 cents. I think we're essentially flat right now. It's at the bottom of this W pattern, though. It's at the bottom of this W pattern here. On a 7-day, you're only up 3.4%. You know what? This might actually not be a bad place, because you got consistent higher lows through the year. They're a very low beat down level, and we're just now peeking our little beaks into altcoin season. Might not be a bad time for Caspa. Now let's go back to Nvidia here and OpenAI. OpenAI signed a $300 billion deal with Oracle to buy up that compute power, as we just discussed. There's a big club, but you know what? I got a side note about OpenAI that we got to discuss, and I do wonder how loud this will come over. Let me turn this up. Let me know in the chat how loud this video comes out for you. This is Sam Altman talking to Tucker Carlson about some pretty touchy subject matter. Let's have a listen.
So you had complaints from one programmer who said you guys are basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This was like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this was someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was suicidal. No note and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
And his mother claims he was murdered on your orders.
Do you believe that?
I'm asking.
You just said it. So do you believe that?
I think that it is worth looking into. And if a guy comes out and accuses your company of committing crimes, I have no idea if that's true or not, of course, and then is found killed and there are signs of a struggle, I don't think it's worth dismissing it. I don't think we should say, well, he killed himself when there's no evidence that the guy was depressed at all. I think, and if he was your friend, I would think you would want to speak to his mom or...
I did offer. She didn't want to.
So do you feel that, when people look at that and they're like, it's possible that happened, do you feel that that reflects the worries they have about what's happening here? Like people are afraid that this is like
I haven't done too many interviews where I've been accused of like.
Oh, I'm not accusing you at all. I'm just saying his mother says that. I don't think a fair read of the evidence suggests suicide at all. I just don't see that at all. And I also don't understand why the authorities, when there's signs of a struggle and blood in 2 rooms on a suicide, like how does that actually happen? I don't understand how the authorities could just kind of dismiss that as a suicide. I think it's weird.
You understand how this sounds like an accusation?
Of course. And I certainly, let me just be clear once again, not accusing you of any wrongdoing, but I think it's worth finding out what happened. And I don't understand why the city of San Francisco has refused to investigate it beyond just calling it a suicide.
I mean, I think they looked into it a couple of times, more than once, as I understand it. I saw and I will totally say, when I first heard about this, it sounded very suspicious to me.
Yes.
And I know you had been involved in.
Was mother
you were asked
reached
to look
out
into
to
the case,
and I don't know anything about it. It's not my world.
She just reached out cold.
She reached out cold.
Wow.
And I spoke to her at great length, and it scared the crap out of me. And I don't know anything about it. It's not my world.
She just reached out cold.
She reached out cold.
Wow.
And I spoke to her at great length, and it scared the crap out of me. The kid was clearly killed by somebody. That was my conclusion, objectively, with no skin in the game.
And you, after reading the latest report?
Yes.
Like, look,
I immediately called a member of Congress from California, Ro Khanna, and said, "This is crazy. You got to look into this." And nothing ever happened. And I'm like, what is that?
Again, I think this is, I feel strange and sad debating this and having to
I'm not
myself
even
seem
debating
totally
it, I'm
crazy.
just
And you are a
asking.
little bit accusing me, but this was like a wonderful person and a family that is clearly struggling.
Yes.
And I think you can totally take the point that you're just trying to get to the truth of what happened. And I respect that. But I think his memory and his family deserve to be treated with a level of respect and grief that I don't quite feel here.
I'm asking at the behest of his family. So I'm definitely showing them respect. And I'm not
Dude.
accusing you of any involvement in this.
These altruists drive me fucking crazy. They always spin things to make you feel bad about it. And Alexander Cobb, this is Tucker Carlson asking Sam Altman, the leader of OpenAI, about suspicious deaths of someone that was a whistleblower talking about OpenAI stealing from others, right?
Not at all.
And the guy died.
What I am saying is that the evidence does not suggest suicide, and for the authorities in your city to elide past that and ignore the evidence that any reasonable person would say adds up to a murder, I think is very weird, and it shakes the faith that one has in our system's ability to respond to the facts.
So what I was going to say is, after the first set of information that came out, I was really like, man, this doesn't look like a suicide. I'm confused. This
Okay,
looks like...
okay, so I'm not being crazy here. at
Well,
all.
but then after the second thing came out and the more detail, I was like, oh, okay.
What changed your mind?
The second report on the way the bullet entered him and the sort of person who had like followed the sort of likely path of things through the room. I assume you looked at this too.
Yes, I did.
And what about that didn't change your mind?
It just didn't make any sense to me. Why would the security camera wires be cut? And how did he wind up bleeding in 2 rooms after shooting himself? And why was there a wig in the room that wasn't his? And has there ever been a suicide where there's no indication at all that the person was suicidal who just ordered takeout food? I mean, who orders DoorDash and then shoots himself? I mean, maybe. I've covered a lot of crimes as a police reporter. I've never heard of anything like that.
You definitely
No, I was even more confused.
This is where it gets into, I think, a little bit painful, just not the level of respect I'd hope to show to someone with this kind of mental
I get it.
illness.
I totally get it. It's
People
just his
do commit
family
suicide
asked
without
me.
notes a lot. like that happens.
For sure.
People definitely order food they like before they commit suicide. Like this is an incredible tragedy, and
That's his family's view, and they think it was a murder, and that's why I'm asking the question.
If I were his family, I am sure I would want answers, and I'm sure I would not be satisfied with really any. I mean, there's nothing that would comfort me in that, you know.
Right.
Like, so I get it. I also care a lot about respect to him.
Right.
Oh, and it's not respectful to ask questions about how he died. This dude is the devil. Okay. Sam Altman is literally Satan incarnate, in my opinion. He knows what he's building. He knows, and you know what? Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. We're on the blockchain basement once again. Mind ya. Let's have some fun. Okay. So I got me an idea. And, you know, I want you guys' opinion. You know, is he suspect? Is he just a meek little nerd that means well for everyone? You know, what is your opinion? Is it too much to think that Sam Altman might have been in the know about it, right? Is it too much to think that he might have known about a potential silencing of people that were about to expose him and his organization? Now, let's just do something real quick, okay? Let's just do something real quick, and stay with me, guys, okay? Because this matters, okay? So we're gonna go do this. All right, here we go. You ready for this one? Anyone new to this show that hasn't seen this, you are in for something. I'll tell you that. Now let's go here. Okay. Okay. Here's the logo. Okay. Here's the logo. Now let's just go like that. Okay. Just let's just okay. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna background remove it. I want to see what happens when you just go like this. Oh, weird. That's interesting. That's super interesting. All you have to do is inverse it, and you get something. Makes you wonder. Now, I know I've already done this before. I just got a lot of new people watching. Maybe I should long Caspa, right? Maybe I should catch up to Kryptoni and just long the shit out of it. Let's actually go look at the Caspa chart. Let's see here. Charlie was a false. All right. let's go into Caspa. And maybe I put in is the Morpho long is still cooking. We still cooking with gasoline. At first I want to see Bitcoin. Are we getting ready to roll over here for the day? The market's getting tired. It's 2:00. You know, do we have the juice to keep pumping into Chinese markets? Let's see here. Let's see here. So on the 15-minute, I want to see the 15-minute. A resistance, potential breakout moment for Bitcoin. Okay. Money flows on the up. Okay. Still looking juicy. We still looking juicy. Let's check this out. Ooh, baby. That actually looks like it's Bitcoin's trying to break to 115. This shows me Bitcoin's trying to break to 115. Let's go to the washout levels here. Coin glass. This is literally free, 100% free. Cost you nothing. And you get liquidation levels. Right? So let's go here. Liquidation, heat map. And you guys get inside my brains here as I'm considering top blast. Actually, not even top blasting. I'm not top blasting Caspa. I want to get a long in on a. This is Caspa is being underestimated right now. Caspa is being underestimated right now. Proof of work coins in general, outside of Bitcoin, they're being underestimated right now. Right. Mine's kind of going here. Let's see here. So there is juice above us. Let's back up to the 24-hour and see how much juice is above us. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now that looks pretty good. Who's hitting me up? Jesus. Oh yeah, I forgot. No, we didn't do the arena show, but Matt's still trying to get the arena show set up here. So this looks actually pretty good. Now let's head on over to Caspa. Let's head on over to Rock de Caspa. I get a surprising amount of comments saying that I don't like Caspa, which is really kind of, it's very, very false. Not kind of, it's very false. I do like Caspa. All right, so where can I get in here? Don't want. She's trying to break up hard. Look at that. This is on the 1 hour. Digging itself out of a tranche. Digging itself out of a tranche. I want this. I want the 8-cent flat zone. I want it. I want it now. I'm like that fat girl in what do you call it? Willy Wonka. I want it now. On 8-cent flat. 8 cents flat. I like the bottom end here. Bottom end. Maybe we can, yeah. I like this. Okay. Because the Chinese markets are going to come in, I think, 8:30 tonight. Look at that flare. Damn. That's some juice right there. I think the markets are going to be kind of crazy tonight. You know what I mean? So taking advantage of the volatility, look for that short-term little snafu crash. But Caspa actually looks like it wants to go hard. Caspa is actually looking like she's waking up hard right now. Weekly. See, it's got that. Yeah, the VWAP. Oh, yeah. Look at this. So the VWAP's clipping up. Though the money flowed to the downside, VWAP clipping up. We're generally on a momentum wave downturn, which actually is a nice spot for me to find those longs in a bull market. So this is actually something I'm going to look out for. 8-cent flat. Catch up to all these damn Caspa spot holders with 50x leverage. Couple G's. I'll catch you quick. Drew, weekly and daily. What you looking at on weekly and daily, Alexander? Weekly and daily. Yeah, no, it did bounce really nice off there, didn't it? It did. Trying to see. That's what I'm looking for. I'm seeing if I can catch that. And so let's go check out the daily. Let's check out the daily. The daily. Am I being too much of a greedy prick wanting this washout tonight to get into this? I might end up just doing it after the show. I might end up just hopping into this thing. I'll let you guys know in the Discord if I do. You know what? Be the person that you want to see in this country. Okay. I want to see more nuclear families. I want to see more based dads taking good care of their kids and having long-term vision for their legacy. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to talk about being that guy, and I'm going to expand that message as far and as wide as I can. And with your guys' help, I can get that information, that focus out to the world. I need your help. We're turning the lights back on in the basement here. I don't think the stream got zapped entirely from me playing that clip, but it is definitely going to have some headwinds, right? So if you may hit the like button, reshare the stream out, and get in there in the Discord. I haven't been getting Discord alerts. That's weird, David Middleton. That's weird. I had to do the Chat GPT logo thing again. There's a lot of people that haven't seen it. I know you guys, most of you guys know it. You know, but some don't. Some don't. They don't understand. Right? All right, you guys. I love and appreciate you. Stay frosty. Head on a swivel. Looking around you. Lead with a smile, but have one in the chamber. Lead with a smile, but have one in the chamber. Okay? Love you guys. I'll see you real soon. Be good.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.